to the episode 2 of Daily Doses of the Doctor. I'm your host, your guide, your mentor, Dr. Changa Miller, and welcome to Doc's Man Cave. Let's get into it, right? Yo, as you can see, got all my Kappa paraphernalia on today because this is a special episode for me because this is J5, Founders Day. All the newts, let me hear you say, yo, newt. All right, cool. So I just kind of want to pay homage and pay tribute to not only just Kappa Alpha Psi, but all of the fraternities and sororities of the Divine Nine. So the Divine Nine is a conglomerate, Miller conglomerate, pun on words, that was intentional. Conglomerate of Greek sororities and fraternities, African American Greek sororities and fraternities, which was founded on May 10th, 1930 on Howard University. And all of these fraternities and sororities became very prevalent in the early 20th century. And it was a big pivotal switch or shift in the education of Black Americans in America. So what most of the fraternities and sororities were created for was to, attach and group educated, like-minded individuals, African Americans, and have a support system on these predominantly white campuses. On some of them, some were founded on predominantly Black campuses, but the concept was the same: to group educated and like-minded individuals to not only help them while they matriculate through school, but as they get out into the world, they were able to give back to society in a much vaster method and way. So I'm really honored, and I've always been excited about Founders Day just because it kind of brings everything back to full circle. So I'm going to get into a few points today. One, I'm going to start out like why I joined. So the reason why I joined Kappa Alpha Psi was a few reasons. Our mantra of achievement in every field of human endeavor is probably the foundational principle or foundational reason in which I did. But I always tell my children, people's perspective is based off their experiences, right? So if you haven't gotten out your pencil and paper, note takers are money makers, all right? So just make sure you're writing down some of these gems, right? So going back to why I joined, I had a few experiences that kind of geared me toward Kappa Alpha Psi, besides our main principle founding mantra. But one that stands out to me is one year as I was touring, going on scholarship touring for music scholarships in different campuses, HBCUs. I never forget, we were on the campus of South Carolina State University. Now, mind you, we've seen it at the other schools, Bethune and different schools where I wound up attending and pledging at. But when we were at South Carolina State, we were done with the scholarship audition part, and we go to the CAF, and as high schoolers, we're seniors in high school, so we're watching all these college kids in the spring. They kind of moving around, all the Greeks coming in and out of the cab. And I won't name what other fraternities kind of walked past us or whatever without even saying a word, not even, hey, how you doing? How's it going? They knew that we were high schoolers because we looked like high schoolers, right? And the only people that stopped by was the Kappas. Now, these guys come in, cleaned, preppy loafers and whatever. So, that was cool. But their concern, their genuine love and concern about where we were in our journey and where we were going, just spoke volumes about the organization in itself. And then I started to do more research as I chose a college to go to. So Hale Wildcats, Bethune-Cookman, BCC, or BCU now. So that's where I chose. And as I went down there, like I said, I did a lot of research. And once again, our founding principles, we're all Christians. God is the center of what catapulted our founders into creating the fraternity, and their mantra of achieving in every field of human endeavor. And it just resounded in me because that's what I've lived my life on. Making sure that I was the best me at that time as possible. So I'll give you an example. So I got married young. I was only 22. And I wanted to be the best husband, father, role model as I could for my own kids. Because I had good role models, my dad and my mom. So that was just a big thing in me. When I went to school, I didn't not only go to school to just get by, I wanted to get the best grades possible. Was I a genius? No, but I learned how I learned early. So that's another thing. When we're learning new skills and principles, just in life, you have to learn first how you learn so that you can now digest the information or take in the information and then now make it shift or make it morph into the way that you learn knowledge or how you receive knowledge. But anyway, so that was really kind of some of the experiences I had as far as joining the fraternity, and it's great, and the Divine Nine Network, this is for all my collegiate followers and even people who might have went to college and didn't get a chance to cross or get in a sorority or fraternity. It's never too late, because on top of achieving in every field of human endeavor, Kappa Alpha Psi and most of the sororities and fraternities have mentoring programs. We have God Right and Kappa League, where we mentor young men into not only into education and finance, but just how to be men and how to navigate in this system called life, right? So that's a good way to give back to our community. So with I Am and the Miller conglomerate, right? I use my network with the Divine Nine and with Kappa Alpha Psi to continue to help my culture, to help society, to change the paradigm. If you watch episode 1, I talked about paradigm shifts, mind of being a consumer to an investor. If we train up a child in the way it should go, he would never depart from it, right? So if we instill in our youth, the skills that we're learning now that we wish we'd have known 20, 30 years ago, then that would catapult them ahead of their normal culture, what would have happened had they not gotten that knowledge or that guidance or that mentorship. All right, cool. All right, so make sure you do your research. Good. So make sure you do your research if you're looking into joining a sorority or a fraternity. And cut. Okay. Go. So make sure you do your research on any fraternities and sororities if this is what you're looking into. Now, most fraternities and sororities, we definitely have a standard, right? I know Kappa Alpha Psi, you have to have a degree if you are not currently matriculating through school. And you have to be over a certain GPA, yada, 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 things like that. But it would be probably one of the best decisions that you made in your life. So I'm going to end with this. By joining a fraternity and sorority and then learning the skill set in which I Am Mastery Academy and the Miller Conglomerate will afford you, then this will now allow you to impart into your organization finances, support, knowledge, and wisdom. Currently now we're working on launching a few God Right programs in financial literacy. And we're expanding it to all of the Divine Nine's mentoring programs. So once again, we can't change anything if nothing changes. Okay? So let me save you 20 years. Never am I looking down or not happy about the decisions I made. But had I known, the more knowledge you know, the sooner, the easier it is to apply it. The better for you to apply it. The more time you have to cultivate it, right? So if you learn it at 20 opposed to 40, then you have 20 more years to make it mature, correct? So just DM me, message me on any of my social media platforms, and we'll definitely get you started. We'll make sure that whatever you have to do in order to change your financial future, to change where the trajectory of your life, we'll guarantee that we'll meet you half the way. You have to meet us half the way, and we'll meet you half the way. But if you want to run, we'll run. If you want to walk, we'll walk. But we'll fill in the gaps of what you may have been missing in your life as far as financial literacy, spiritual guidance, manifestations. Let me talk real quick about manifestations, and I'm going to let you go. Every morning, I do a spiritual prayer, daily decoration. And one of the decorations that I do was adopted from one of our higher executives in the company, David Amitier, who happened to also be a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. And he said, the things that you manifest with your mouth have to, by spiritual law, manifest itself in a physical sense. So basically, what you put into your mind and you say out your mouth matters. You know, people here speaking things into existence. So on my wall, my mirror in my bathroom, I have the declaration. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning over $10 million a year and $25,000 a month in I Am Mastery Academy. Just that simple. Say 3 times a day, sometimes 10 times a day, depending on the energy that I need for that day, right? I also have above it a $10 bill that I wrote in the other 7 zeros, or 6 zeros, for the $10 million. And I have it taped right above my decoration. So once again, a good friend of mine also said this: if you're hanging around people whose ceiling is your floor, then you have to change your environment. You cannot manifest things that you want in your life with people who will either bring you down, who can't see your vision, who are not supporting your vision, and they don't have to in order for it to happen. But if you're not in, as Ty the God said, if you're not in fertile ground when you're manifesting it, then it won't grow. You have to now be in an environment in which those manifestations can operate and they can produce the fruit that you want it to produce. So once again, tune in every week for a daily dose with the doctor, so I can give you the remedy that may continue to catapult you to that vision that you want to see, or your decoration that you want to manifest in your life. All right? Listen, I'll see you at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. And to all the noobs,